Dr. Latozi Mpahleni passed away, as we heard earlier on. And again, as we take a look at her music and her legacy with indigenous heritage music, the 79-year-old passed away today after a lengthy illness. This was according to a statement by the family. We're going to be joined by the Southern African Music Rights Organization archive specialist Nandi Mnyani as we pay tribute to the legend and also look at her legacy. Nandi, good evening and thank you for joining us here on the SABC.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for having me. And good evening to you and your listeners.
Perhaps we could just look at the legacy of Dr. Latozi and perhaps, how South Africa is lesser forward given her contribution to the indigenous heritage music scene.
Dr. Latozi has been a giant, a library for our indigenous, especially Xhosa music. She started playing those instruments when she was 4. She says that. So she's been carrying all this heritage and knowledge with her. And one of the things that she's been concerned about was to pass it on to us, the next generation. So her legacy is that she wanted this music to be known worldwide. She wanted us, young people of South Africa, to learn how to play this music.
So, we obviously understand that she was honored with an honorary degree by the Rhodes University and the University of Cape Town. But on the back of this, particularly now since her passing, are we doing enough to preserve and celebrate and safeguard traditional music and our artists?
4 years ago at SAMRO, we did a project called Indigenous Transcription Music, where we transcribed a lot of indigenous songs that had never been put into sheet music. And her music was one of the songs. In fact, I think 3 songs were transcribed in order to preserve the music of the indigenous practitioners in South Africa. So at the moment, we have been trying to do something as SAMRO by having those scores where everybody, any students in the world who can play Uhadi or Umkhube, can be able to access them and learn what she was giving us as her love language, which was music.
Well, speaking of her love language and really just making sure that tradition is passed on, playing Uhadi, Umkhube and Isitolotolo. I wonder, how we then, as those who survive her, can continue to pay tribute to her and keep her memory alive at this point.
One of the beautiful things that Madosini has done was that she has trained a lot of people into playing these instruments, and I would like to put it out to them to say, Makulu has gone now and she has given us the baton, and what we need more is to actually take it out there and put it for the world to see.
All right, so on the back of that, Nandi, I can't let you go, perhaps just by also looking at Mampintsha. We also heard earlier today that he had passed away, and he was also a contributor to South Africa's music scene. Really, hailed for his music and influence in pioneering drum music in South Africa. And I wonder how you'd weigh in on his legacy to date and the impact of his loss.
Mampintsha was one of, obviously, the few pioneers of the drum music in South Africa, which is one of the most important music that came before the now current Mapiano. And I think his legacy will live on for changing and for making also Durban the place to be, because, the vibe that they brought is Durban Nas. We wanted to go to Hawaii all the time because of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As we await more information from both families and perhaps also look at ways to keep their legacy alive. Nandi, I'm going to leave that conversation there. Again, SAMRO spokesperson head of archives, Nandi Mnyani, just giving us an update. This on the back of the loss of legendary Xhosa musician Dr. Latozi Mpahleni, as well as Mampintsha, who both passed away. Again, may their souls rest in peace.